Welcome back to another installment of Non-Reader Reacts as we dive into episode 4 of The Wheel of Time. We have with us G Mama and Lady Catherine, and they've graciously granted us their time, and they're going to give us their thoughts, feelings, and predictions of episode 4 of The Wheel of Time. What an exciting episode, Brother Dan. Take it away.
It's episode 4 of the Wheel of Time series. This one is called the Dragon Reborn. So let's just jump right into it. It starts off with a cold open that has Gildon on fire. I heard that place was lit. Jump right into it. Talk about the episode, ladies. What? This one was a big one. That's what she said.
It was, and the whole cold opening, there was obviously a whole lot going on. So the last one we ended where we saw this guy who claims to be the Dragon Reborn, right? So we saw a little bit of his black magic, like literally black magic. Mm-hmm. And he so much so that he got a king to follow him.
What about the Shadow Talkers?
Oh yeah, they were awesome.
What do you think about him?
I don't know. I mean, his power was black and white. It had white light in it, along with the darkness. So it seemed to be like a mixture of both.
Shadow Talkers.
Yeah, but they were also they were dark, but they also had a lot of. They had the white wisps, like the power of the Ashanti sisters. Okay. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So it was white and then kind of turned black. It has
right?
both. Yeah, it looked like it was a combination.
Black that had white within it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it probably did. I really just looked at it as the dark magic, because what he exuded was black versus the Aes Sedai, it's all white.
Yeah, but he healed someone.
Correct.
He did. So yeah, the power seemed to be similar. And like surround him, but also bind him. I mean, so he healed him, but he was also like binding him, and he could have had him like kill himself, right? Because he had the dagger that I thought for sure was gonna
turn around and stab himself. Yeah,
right. But he didn't. So he spared that guy, but he spared him so that he could follow him.
Oh, that's a good point.
But the ability to spare means that there has to be some. I don't know. I think the
you don't get
ability
any followers if you just kill everybody.
Yeah, but the ability to heal. You can convert people, but healing people is a different subculture, kind of. I don't know.
Well, Logain seems a little complicated. He does not move his hands to channel. We've seen the women do choreography shit. Mm-hmm. He does not. He just stares at it, and it happens.
It was very Darth Vader-esque.
And he does heal this king and says, "Hey, I'm not here to. Hey, buddy, I'm not here to kill people. I'm here to bring everyone together."
But the shadow people were trying to convince
people. Bind was the word he used, brother.
Yeah, he did. He said he wanted to. The other dragon destroyed the world. I'm here to bind it. Right? Yeah. It was a very interesting choice of words. Not fix it, not heal it, not save it. Bind it. Bind could be good or bad.
Right.
But the last thing he said is the last dragon broke the world. I mean, to save it, though.
No, he didn't say save it. He said bind it.
Okay.
I'm here to bind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The dark shadow things were whispering about his parents. It says, quote, "They'll betray you. He'll betray you, just like your parents, just like your sister."
Yeah.
The tendrils fade away, and he's like, "No, I'm here to join people to me."
Right, yeah, because it seemed like, obviously they wanted him, they did not want him to spare the king. They wanted him to kill the king. Mm-hmm. And he went against them, and made his own decision.
What do we think those things are?
Well, he later says that he hears the voices of all the dragons that have come before him. All his other versions of himself. So, I mean, in kind of true, like the devil and angel, it's like his subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Or as then Maureen points out, his madness. It's just the voices. So, which the voices are subconscious of oneself, I think.
Is his madness not as strong as the last guy's madness? Because his madness was actually to have a person appear, and he just had the shadows.
That's a good point.
Nice. Now, if you watched the show with the captions on, you would have seen that the first voice had a name. Fanucci.
At first when the name came up, I was a little bit. It was kind of taken aback a little bit because I'm like, okay, I don't think I've met that person. I don't know. And then I wasn't 100% sure yet. It was the spirit, the black smoke or whatever talking. I didn't know if it was just somebody off screen for a minute, but I figured it out pretty quickly.
Those two figures, those shadowy figures, reminded me of Little Mermaid, those electric eels. That kind
Flotsam and Jetsam?
Flotsam and Jetsam, correct.
I can't believe you remember that name. Those names.
Incredible.
Flotsam Jetsam, cause the boss is on a roll. Poor. Turns out that all this that we're seeing was before time. Sometime before, because Logain is captured. We go to the Aes Sedai camp, and he is being held. It's a cool little camp. Turns out to be a pretty fun place when the lights go down and fires. There's a lot of saucy stuff going on.
Those Aes Sedai are...
But Logain has been captured. We learned that he was shielded as he slept, and it is quite the burden to hold this dude. There's only 3 of them available who are able to do it. Now that Moiraine has been healed, she is strong enough to help as well, so they're able to split the duty, but 2 of them needed to do it at any given time. He's that strong. Let's talk about the camp. What do you guys think about like this whole situation? What were your thoughts? Cassie?
I like the, we've only seen the greens and the reds, the 3 green tents and then the big red tent. There appear to be more reds than greens in the actual count of people. But I did notice how the wisdom looked, how her green kind of blended in. And when she's running around, sometimes I thought she was one of the green members.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, so I did, but I thought it was cool. I like the way it was set up. I normally you wouldn't want to set up if you're trying to do something and you have someone, you would want to be at a higher peak and not in the valley. So if someone tries to attack, they have to go up. Kind of. Do you know?
No, I understand.
But being in the valley, you're more exposed. It wasn't a very defensive position.
Except that they needed the cave to put Logain somewhere where they could keep him away from everyone and protect him.
Which is kind of weird. So they say that there's only a couple of sisters who are strong enough to hold this guy. But you don't think like a couple more sisters hanging out would be helpful? Is too many sisters?
Right. Can you have too many? Exactly. What we want to call it.
I thought you were going to bring up the fact that Leandrin at one point was in there by herself, just holding him back like a.
I did. I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I was like, what's that?
I thought that's weird. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go have a smoke. You got this, Leandrin?
So
I'll hold him out here.
The camp itself I thought was pretty cool, but just we learned so much about the Aes Sedai and the warders, right? We learned that the green are warriors and like to fight.
The battle Aja.
The the battle Aja. I don't remember that part, but yeah. Then we didn't learn a whole lot about Blue except a couple little things, right? Where one of them said something and Maureen said, oh, it's very perceptive, or, you could have been Blue, or it was kind of sneaky. It seemed like she was like a little sneaky, so it could have been Blue. And I think Leandrin said Blue are only, they're just spies. So, so I'm still not completely sure of what the Blue sort of stand for. The red they protect the one power. It sounds
Okay,
like,
so
like if anybody misuses it, they're the ones that are there to make sure that it's used properly. Even I think she said even with her own sisters if they misuse it.
yeah. So what's
Like
the one
really
power
aggressive
again?
traffic cops.
Yeah.
What's that?
What's the one power again?
It's what they use. It's what they're all. It's what they're all using.
Maureen had explained it to Egwin when she was holding that little stone, and she's like, feel the river, listen to the sound, just flow with it. It's the power that turns the wheel, and kind of like, so those white wispy things are indications of the one power being used.
And the black.
Okay.
And what
the black.
What Logain was using. So it's all that's the one power is what people are.
Well, earlier Leandrin had said power is only for women. When men touch it, they taint it, or they turn it dirty.
It gets dirty.
Or filthy. Filthy is what
yeah,
you make it filthy.
We learned about the warders too. So this whole thing, I quite enjoyed the warder storyline. But I have a question, and you can maybe either answer or not. Do the red have warders?
We haven't seen any specifically yet that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I didn't know if that meant they didn't have them or if we didn't see them, because like the community camaraderie seemed to be more with kind of Lan and the green people warders. So I thought maybe they're just more friendly. But when they were all fighting, I don't remember seeing any from the red. But
well, we had a scene where Leandrin is speaking with Nynaeve. She says, hey, why don't you come over for dinner? That'd be great. And then later Lan says, if you want to hang out in our fires, you can. That may or may not give the impression that the two Aes Sedai don't necessarily mix in their camps. That one, maybe they had a raging fire just, a quarter mile over there, and I don't know.
She also, Leandrin said, all women are welcome in our tent.
Yes. And when, in the very, very first scene, when they were chasing the two hippies, there was only the girls on horseback. There was only girls in red. There was
that's what I was thinking too.
There was no gentleman with them. So maybe they don't have warders, or maybe their warders are apprentices.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Good point.
And we learned that I don't know if all of them, but at least the green. What did that one woman say? She couldn't have only one warder. She didn't pick blue because she would only be able to have one warder. And then she's the one that kind of walked away, like grabbed the two dudes, and the three of them went in there. And Nynaeve was like, "Are they gonna do what I think they're gonna do?"
So like, don't worry about it.
And the dude's all,
yeah,
yep, laughing in his cup.
He chuckled and drank.
We hear that holding Logain is like, quote, it's like holding a cat in the bath.
Yeah.
So while he's sitting there all calm, he is, it seems like, actively trying to get out, but just using his power, and they're just kind of forcing it down.
Well, even Leandrin says that, right? She's like, he's not sweating, he's not like nothing, and this is more power than we have, can handle one-on-one.
Well, how can we travel with them hundreds of miles, pretty much?
Right.
She's trying to get rid of them.
Right, but Karini's like, hey, the Amaryllis said bring her back. That's what we're doing. I'm lawful good. I'm lawful good.
Rule follower, yeah.
We do see more about the warders. They, I guess they engage in like warder tai chi.
Yes, they do.
They do soft, delicate
move.
motions and clunk, and then bang the sword against the ground and do another slow little tai chi, and then say, "I can kill you now, but I won't." I guess they do have some rehearsed things that they both knew the dance, as it were, that they were doing. It was almost Tai Chi-ish, in which there were specific moves, almost to a choreographed way that I think Tai Chi does employ. I know yoga does employ it to a certain amount. Karate certainly does have forms that employ this.
Karate?
But karate.
Karate, not karate.
Okay.
Ask me a yes or no question, Ryan.
You like apples?
Hi. A lot.
Oh my god.
We hear that the Emerald seat doesn't seem to be very happy with Moraine.
Yeah.
It seems like there's some drama, and she was gonna like drag him back to town. They've been going off searching for 20 years or so, but the Emerald's kind of not. Let's say Moraine's just not on her good list right now for whatever reason. We also learn that they're lost. All 5 of the, besides Nynaeve, those 4 TAVERN are lost. They have no freaking idea where they're at. And this is a failure that Moraine and Lan share. As a bonding works. If you suck, I suck.
Right. If you drink, I get emotional. I liked that too.
Yeah.
It actually, that one scene did show like really a few different aspects of their bond, right? Of that, their shared responsibility, but that it's like E.T. E.T. and the boy, right?
Go on. Oh, so when E.T. got all drunk,
E.T. was drinking beer in the house, and the boy then was at school and he got all drunk.
His name was Elliot.
Elliot, right?
Elliot, yeah. And then kisses that girl because he's watching the movie.
Right, exactly. So
and the frogs are everywhere. He lets go all the frogs.
So a warder and an Aes Sedai has a bond like E.T. and Elliot.
Okay.
Are those the frogs that end up in Magnolia?
Probably. They had to mass breed before they got there, but yeah.
It's the exact same frogs. People kind of talk shit about Moraine and Lan a little bit. They're apparently, it's like, can you imagine their dinners together and the Aes Sedai and our warder just kind of chuckle. Kadari's like, yeah, I can't get nothing out of her. She doesn't talk. They're like, try talking to Lan. Jeez.
That bath scene they had together was just like a haiku poem.
I was gonna say they haven't seen his bonds yet.
Better.
I want to know the haiku poem, Ryan.
Yeah. 757. 575.
575.
I'll work on it.
All right. Okay.
No one likes improv haiku. Trust me.
Everyone loves improv haiku.
I've looked it up. That's top 10 things you don't do is haikus live.
Talking of Logain, why do all those black wisps streak across the cave so? That was a haiku question.
Oh,
sorry.
almost. Say that one more time.
It was an improv haiku question.
Oh, got it. That's why it made no sense.
It made no sense, but it made all the sense in the world.
Have I had my haiku ready?
Oh yes. Okay, good.
And 7 and 5 again.
Lan enters the tub. We saw the bum, trim and proud. She looks away. Dick. Thank you.
Speechless.
Let's talk about Perrin and Egwene. Perrin and Egwene are with the Tinkers.
Okay, so first off, I have to say something now that we've got to the Tinkers. I said last week I wasn't sure if it was Hotel California because I didn't know if I could trust them.
Right.
But then I noticed and I heard that they live the way of the leaf. And so I cannot trust them at all.
No, I would.
Now you're convinced you can't trust them.
They're terrible.
Yep.
Okay. So
Catherine, you got to see the guy with the dreadlocks and go, yeah, that's Ryan and Brother Dan.
now he's about 22. Every given character, I look at him,
I
I'm
know.
like, how old do you think?
Well,
he is?
and because he even was talking about that when we turn 20, we do this. So it seemed like he was
Getting ready to
close
leave.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. So I'm wondering, every time I see a character, I think, ooh, is this one? Is this one? Yeah.
That's kind of an Amish tradition for once a young person reaches an age, let's say 20. I don't know if that's exactly it. They are encouraged to go out into the world and sow their wild oats and make sure they know what they are giving up when they return to the community.
What he said, and I really like the phrase, to see if the life we were born into is the life we would choose.
Correct. Very
And
well
I
said.
really loved that phrasing.
That's beautiful. But what I'm wondering is he one of the 5 now? So that's what I'm talking about when I keep going.
Right.
Is he about 20? Because he's one of the 5? Because all they mentioned for sure of the 3-5 was Rand's girlfriend and Matt, because the girl recognized the 3 of them. So she has not
Oh, girl.
said
She said
Perrin.
Perrin, too. Yeah, she's
She didn't say Perrin.
Maureen.
No, the one who was trying to kill Rand and Matt last episode.
Dana?
Oh, Dana. Okay, sorry.
Bar girl.
Oh, got
She
it.
said in her
I see.
she had seen all 5 of them in her dreams, and she knew about the braid
Got it.
of one, and then she knew about those 2 guys. But so I don't know if she hasn't really said, or they didn't say for sure.
She
those are
didn't
the other
know.
2.
Maureen said it's one of you 4.
Right.
So it's just different people are seeing and have different information.
Mm-hmm.
Because she said only 4 and the other one said 5, so it already isn't matching up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of Aram?
Who's that?
I like him. I like
The 20-year-old.
Dread?
20-year-old
Dready.
young Dread guy in the Tinkers.
I think it's really cool when she says, "You think you've already found the song," and he looks around and realizes, like, "Wow, we really do." That's
Yeah.
pretty cool to do that.
The song
That
is
was
apparently
really
just
powerful. Yep, I agree.
the song is pretty much just a cool drum circle.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Hey man, his grandparents were rocking out. His granddad was like, "Yeah, baby."
Yeah, but she was working on the wheel. Grandpa was, hitting the bongos, and she's over there having to do the
Yeah, Isla.
dishes and
Isla's
the
like working.
She's like, "Rain, can you fix the wagon?" But the boys want to play. I gotta go. I'll fix it later. Okay, bye. I love you.
I don't want to work. I just want to.
I like Aram. I feel like he's. I mean, like Lady Captain said, he's kind of. We might see more of him. He's trying to figure out kind of his way, where he's going to be. He seems, if I take things at face value, which I probably shouldn't, but I do. I like him. He's a little kind of fun-loving guy, but also trying to figure his way in the world.
Yeah, but I think
Still feel
what's her
safe
face
there.
Eggie is being a little sleazy. I mean, she's dancing. She's, who are you thinking about? She ain't thinking about no one. She's out with this guy and this guy. She's. I don't even know if she remembers his name anymore. I mean, she's having a good time. But we'll leave anytime you want to.
Interesting. Yeah, that's funny. I actually saw it differently and thought I saw her looking over like, oh, where's Taryn?
Yeah,
well-
she
Anybody
did.
pick up on that?
Yeah, but then she sure didn't stop dancing.
Yeah, which I think, she's 20 years old. She's like, again, I have this idea of like feeling safe and being just immersed in what they're doing and having fun, but not,
Yeah.
but still kind of looking out for Perrin. And then, Aram asked her, okay, who's the guy? Like, clearly you're not like just all into this. There's something holding you back.
Yeah, we've all had our first Grateful Dead concert.
Well, she
Taylor
said
is strong.
She says no, he's not gone because I think I would know it if you had been. Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like the water
Connected.
bond?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know if it's a bond like a warder, but she seems to feel that they have a bond where she knows, but I don't know if that means she knows that he's been in danger a couple times. I don't know if that, or if she just thinks that she would know.
I just think she thinks she should know.
Yeah, that's me too.
She wasn't even going to marry him. She was going to give him up and become a wisdom. So, I mean, my love, I'm not going to be with you, though. But, you know.
He even said, you already made your choice.
Yeah, basically.
Mhm.
You've already given up on me, but, you know, you can't.
She's
put
like,
me.
but things change. Nynaeve's not, I can't train to be wisdom anymore. He's like, too bad. You dumped me.
Yeah, you already dumped me. Sorry.
If emo Ryan and as a 16-year-old said that line live to a woman, I would have walked away so proud of myself.
So good.
Dude,
So good.
Nailed that fucking line. Yeah.
I love this thing that Aram is describing how some people just decide not to come back. Most do, but some don't. And he says, quote, Leaf doesn't fight the wind, and sometimes the wind blows away from the tree.
That was really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Perrin had, to me, it was a lot lighter, kind of what they were doing, and just, there wasn't, well, I guess I should say that this, what's her name, Isla?
Mm-hmm.
She seemed to have something really knowing too, right? So when they were talked about the way of the leaf, and they're like, wait a minute, you're not ever going to hurt any people? And she's like, you ever been in war? You ever done this? Have you ever wielded an axe?
Mm-hmm.
And when you wielded that axe, how did you feel? So her,
Yeah, but he gave a start. Like she said, have you ever done this?
Yeah.
Have you ever done this? And then when she said that, he went, huh?
He, stopped
like
in
you
his
knew?
tracks.
I'm
Yeah.
getting a male name. It begins with an M or a J,
Right.
an M, J, or a
Right.
D. An
Yeah.
M, J, or a D. David, Michael.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah,
You
she just
might be
needed-
right that was more to it. So yeah, maybe she doesn't really kind of see things, but she certainly brought up those weird runes, and then talked about her daughter and why. I thought it was kind of weird that parents like, yeah, why do you want to be a good person? I don't get it. I'm like, why not? He's like, you know, he was questioning her on why she wanted to do good things, and that to me seemed really weird. He's like, you're not going to see it. Your kids aren't going to see it. Like, why bother?
You changed two people's minds? That's nothing.
Yeah. It was. To me, it was a little bit weird that he was like so harsh against her just making these choices to be a good person.
Well, there's a really cool line that Isla says when he's saying, why didn't you go back and kill those people? She was sitting there retelling the story of her dead daughter, the broken spear in her chest. She was killed for sport, is what she ascertained. And he said, why didn't you just go fucking kill them? What greater revenge against violence than peace? What greater revenge against death than life? And let's reconnect this to the Winter Night celebration. They put the lanterns in the water to commemorate their dead, but then they go and celebrate. They are commemorating with joy and celebration, and this is not that far unlike what Isla is saying in her own way. Is saying, the violence I committed would have been revenge, and the best revenge I could do is to live a good life.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't agree.
Except that the one thing that when I don't know what you call it, the Winter Night, that celebration when they did the candles, they said, if we want them to come back, we need to give them something fun to come back to.
Yeah,
So-
that's why they had it. Not
Yeah, so that's why they were having the party to have people like have the desire to want to come back, not combating. So I hear what you're saying, and I really like kind of the phrase of what Isla said. I just don't connect the two. I feel like what they were doing with the lanterns was very different. Almost
yeah,
like
and I don't think that would work very well on the growlers. The Trollocs, I'm sorry. we're just going to talk about this. We're not, I'm going to live in peace. And I mean, death and violence has to be. They're in a place now where there's no knives, no weapons, no any. And they're actually putting, if these are really good people, they're putting all these people in danger.
If the Trollocs come?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They said they'll run away if they can. If they can't, they'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, and these aren't things that are just, they'll just slaughter them all and eat them.
Let's talk about killing for sport.
Right, yeah. So there's times for violence and there's times for not violence. Well, she thinks she's bigger because she didn't do the revenge perfect, but it doesn't mean that violence is bad at all times.
Well, and I wonder, violence is defending yourself against a wild animal violent? Or are they vegetarian?
I'd assume so. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, that's a whole... killing an animal, is that considered violence, or is that considered sustenance, or defend against a bear that's going to kill you, or is that is it peace against other people?
They sell.
It seems like they'd have to catch the animals by hand.
Well, they don't have weapons. Exactly.
There, yeah. And they
must.
They do sell tofu Rice Krispie treats on tour, but I don't know if they really follow that personally, or if they're just trying to.
They sold out to the last Fish concert.
How do you know if someone's a vegan?
They'll tell you.
Wait,
their abs.
They'll tell you.
Their sweet abs and pallor expression. Speaking of pallor expressions, let's speak about Matt and Rand and Tom Maryland. Mm-hmm. They are traveling through the countryside. They stop at a farm, kind of, and they're like, all right, we'll sleep in the barn tonight. They won't even fucking know. And then a farmer shows up and is like, hey, I'm going to shoot you with my arrow. You're bad guys. Rand comes clean and says, no. Hey, buddy, I'm sorry. We were pulling your leg. Sorry. We would just want to sleep in your barn. And we find out that this farmer has a very nice family. Cool little daughter. Gives them bread. They're mucking out stables. Matt isn't feeling very well. Matt goes and
vomiting evil sand. Sorry, go ahead.
He vomited evil sand by a trough, and then some of it crawled back into his face.
Mm-hmm. And the horse
was
scared of him. Yeah.
And the horse doesn't like. Yes. Oh, by the way, those horses were stolen. Confirmed. You're a bad horse thief, Tom.
Right.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, you stole a bad one. Yes.
But he did have his jacket, Rand. So when they were running for their lives, he went back and got his jacket. I did not see the arrow, but he did get his jacket.
He got his jacket.
You
were I was wondering if
about that.
That's a North Face.
It is. I was wondering if he was going to get the bow from this farmer, and it doesn't seem like he did that yet either.
I think he will now.
Yeah, so my, because I like to see the good in everyone, I am very hopeful and feel like the Fade killed that whole family. Even though we saw Matt with the dagger in his hand and the evil sand crawling back into his mouth, I would feel really, really awful if Matt killed that whole family.
Evil sand is canon.
And what is the eyes rolling back in the head? Why? What happened to Matt? Why is this happening? I mean,
evil sand from the evil place where he stole the knife.
Oh, so you think it's from the Shadowland?
Yeah, it's the same stuff. It's that same stuff that turned that horse into sand.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
it's that like is crawling over. It kind of did that same.
Instead of evil sand, we just call him
he left
Eversand.
The knife. He threw the knife was hanging when they left out of the place. It was in one of the walls.
No, that was a Tom Maryland's knife.
That wasn't.
No, because when we saw Matt, he was like kind of that unconscious. It rolled back into his head, and he had the knife in his hand.
And
okay,
that's right.
And Ren grabbed him and Tom stayed to fight the Fade.
The Fade.
So if you look at the wounds of the people in the house, would you assume that, like, we know that the Fade has a big old sword?
Does he?
And
I don't remember
Matt
the
has a
story.
dagger.
They were knifed. Like when they showed the little girl, she was knifed in the back.
Right.
I don't see Matt doing that, even under the influence.
I know, right?
Of Evelson?
Evelson.
Yeah.
That's evil.
Evil Sand is Evelson.
Evil Sand.
Evelson.
Evelson. This is how fantasy writers do it.
Yes. Yeah.
Evelson.
Evelson. Yes. Yodi and Evelson. Yeah, I don't see him doing that. I think it's and he pointed out, I see you. Or was it not him?
Well,
yeah, he pointed out.
Yeah, exactly. Because they walked in and they just saw him. We kind of skipped Rand's freaky dream.
We will go back to it.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to that. But yeah, so they went in and he was just standing there with with the dead people everywhere. And then Matt said, "I see you," and that's when we saw the Fade, and they started kind of like.
I just don't want Matt to be what they're inferring. Like he's going to turn into the guy's cousin or the guy's
friend.
Owen,
nephew.
Owen, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get the Matt you want, you get the Matt you deserve, Cassie.
Well, this is something that Tom takes Rand aside and tells him, "Hey, listen, I had a nephew. He actually could channel, and he turned on a dime. He became weirdo. He became super weird, and I'm seeing that in Matt. No doubt in my mind, he is going through channel whatever, and he's gonna go nutso. But we have to protect him. So I'm gonna hang out with you as long as I fucking can, and we have to keep Matt away from these witchy women."
Right, because when the women got involved with his nephew, that's when his nephew killed himself after they took the quieted him. Quiet? Is that what they quieted him? Gentled him. Yeah. So Tom, whether I don't know that if he thinks that he's the Dragon Reborn, but he definitely thinks that Matt has the power. I don't know if he knows that there's the evil sand bit of it, but he definitely sees him as having the power.
Or the mental illness in there, because he went a little crazy. Now, did you think that was power, or did you think that was a little crazy? His nephew.
Why was Matt in the fucking house?
Seriously, because he went after the Fade. In my like, I want to see it because he knew the Fade was in there, and he went after the Fade to get the Fade. That he was too late.
Do you think?
I don't know why the daughter wasn't in the house though. It was like the middle of the night.
Get more bread.
Outside.
She ran away. Yeah, that's a good point. Because if she did run away, the Fade was still indoors.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, and then and these are puncture. Clearly, these are like puncture wounds. Like she got stabbed in the back. This is disturbing me. Even talking about it right now.
Yeah.
What happened in there?
But I think it's meant to infer Matt, but I don't think it was.
I think it is too. I think you're right. We're supposed to think that he did it. And I think Tom and Rand think he did it.
Now, to that point, Tom instantly said, "Hey, we got to get him out of here." Now, if you just met people, like, mind you, he just met these two, and he thinks that one of them murdered a family with children. And then he's like, "Oh shit, we got to get this guy out of here.
Cops will be here in 12 minutes.
That made me curious about Tom.
Actually, what I thought about Tom was that the song was about the kids the first time, and then it was supposed to be about the guy who doesn't forget. I think he's thinking about himself. Because he goes, there's nothing stronger than a man who remembers the past or something.
Right.
Nothing more dangerous than a man who remembers the past.
Right. So I think he may be the guy who can't forget, or part of a group of men that can't forget.
Right. Who has this history? Yeah. Because he even said we have a name, like a pleasant, joyful name, because otherwise, otherwise. You guys don't want to deal with us. It's not pleasant to know all this history.
Right. And I wonder if
And
that's the guy in the cage. What did they call him?
Logain?
In the cage. The
Aiel.
Aiel. I wonder if he's one of them, and if that's what they are.
He doesn't have red hair.
He says, we call ourselves Gleeman because a silly name makes us seem less frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they said that the other ones were frightening. But, yeah, he didn't have the red hair. You're right.
But it does make you more depressing.
Right. Great. Now I know
what's
why
so
that
funny.
song sucks so
Last
bad.
episode, G-Mom was like, why do you call it Gleeman?
Right, exactly. I guess I called that one.
Saddest song in the world, Gleeman.
Right. Yeah, and then what's interesting, right? They ran away. Meaning Rand and Matt ran away, and Tom is still inside the house fighting the Fade.
He's doing pretty good, too. Against a Fade.
Like
The Fade caught a knife. He threw a knife at the Fade, and the Fade just caught it.
Right, but then he grabbed in his pockets. He had a bunch more. He was set for battle.
Ready. So we jumped into that before talking about the dream that Rand had, right? So he had this conversation with Tom. He learns about like this really sad story about his nephew who slits his own throat at the dinner table. Horrible. And then I'm trying to remember the whole dream because I wasn't sure whose dream it was at first.
So Rand is walking.
Rand is walking. Perrin is pounding on, is this Layla again? That he's
stabbing.
He's swinging what looks like to be a hammer, and he is hitting what looks like to be a corpse.
Yeah.
Someone with a ring.
And then
it was a male.
Oh, I don't remember a male with a ring.
Thought it was a man's hand.
Okay.
Where? That he was hitting.
Yes.
I saw the ring. I don't know. Yeah, I was kind of assuming it was his wife. I saw the ring. She's a blacksmith, so she might have manly hands.
Right.
So in that dream, Matt also walks by, and Rand is not seen at all. He's super stoned, and he has blood all over his hand.
Yes.
Now, if we were to look at this in a literary sense, I mean, the term "blood on your hands" means that you are guilty of something.
Yeah.
Murder.
Or guilty of murder.
Yes. Matt literally has blood on his hands.
Yeah.
And is walking past Rand. Rand sees Egwene, and Egwene gets pulled from behind by a guy who has fiery eyes and fiery
We've
mouth.
seen this guy before.
Yes.
Perrin dreamed of this guy. And
Perrin turned into this guy.
And turned into that guy, and I think somebody else dreamed of this guy too.
They all dreamed of him with the bats.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they didn't see him as well.
Right.
Unless there's a different fire
more
eye
and
guy.
more of this.
Who is this person, do you think, Catherine? My lady Catherine.
Ooh. He's got to be connected to the Fade, I feel, because the way he woke up, and it was like because the guy was there. He woke up, the dream, it scared him, he jumped up, they ran in there, and that's how the Fade was there. It was like not a warning, but there was a connection between the two.
Well, I was going to say, and same when they all dreamed together, and then the Fade and the Trollocs came, but can't remember if it was the same time or not. But
I don't know if it's like a warning. Well, like she wakes up and hears, but she's having a bad dream. Whenever they have a dream and they're in it, they're around. Evil is around.
Mm-hmm. Clearly, he's not a good guy, because I don't think good guys have red eyes like that. The Dark One, right? That we heard and Dana was a dark friend, and there's people that it's like he's Lord Voldemort.
He could have just left the Glendale party.
I like what you're saying, that you see you think there might be a connection between the proximity of bad people and then these dreams happening. It's almost like an actual physical proximity thing going on. Cool.
Yep.
There's a couple more things, just more or less lines and different situations I want to talk to you about. First is the line that Lan asked Moraine in regarding Logain, and he asks, is she as strong as Egwene? She says, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. So how strong is Egwene?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking the same thing when he asked that we haven't seen a lot of strength from Egwene, right? We saw her with the little stone where she channeled like a little teeny bit.
Uh-huh.
And obviously Maureen sees something in her, but whatever this strength is that clearly she and Lan have talked about, we haven't seen. So I was thinking that, and I'm like, does that mean she thinks Egwene is maybe the Dragon Reborn because whatever it's so strong in her, whereas now Tom and Rand think Mat is the Dragon Reborn. So it seems like people are starting to like place their bets a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about Lan praying. He said he prays when he feels like he needs to. He does a ceremony from his people that was, quote, 7 times for the 7 towers of Malkier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't mention who his people were, right? Unless it's the Tower of Malkier. I don't know what that... I don't know. Anyway, if it means anything, but I mean, everything means something. So maybe eventually we'll figure out who his people are.
As of this point, it means nothing.
Right, exactly. That's right.
Catherine, what do you think about the religion so far in this land? They went into what appeared to be a church in the broken city of Shadalaguth, or whatever they call it. And now we see Lan praying that she identifies as prayer.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on it?
No.
Okay.
No, I think the only type of thought I had was like the circle of life, sort of, but I didn't have a religious type. Obviously, they think reincarnation, but I don't know.
Okay. No sweat. Well, Grace, I'm sorry, G Mama. Lan and Nynaeve kind of have a tender moment.
They do. They have... I feel like they have a few, or at least their relationship definitely changes in this episode, where she watches him pray. She comes upon him and says, "I didn't mean to interrupt," but she totally
does.
Yeah, you kept walking
him there by himself, and she still approached. So she
dumped out the water. He's like, "Oh, she's here," and dumped out the water.
He's like, "I guess I'm done." Amen.
Oh well, flush.
But they did. So she asked and wanted to learn more, and then she did a little Boy Scout promise and kissed the ground.
Boy Scout promise, yes.
Said her words that she didn't know at all, and was very touched with what the words meant that she didn't know. Right? She'd been saying these words her whole life. It sounded like when she needed them, and he gave her information that was very meaningful to her. Mm-hmm. So she was very appreciative of the fact that he gave her this information, and it meant a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now she heard that whole prayer once and has memorized it.
Yeah.
So I thought the same thing. Well, that's a whole lot to remember if you're
speaking Dothraki.
Aaron said that only one time.
Speaking Dothraki.
Then he didn't seem to be what she pictured, and as he was going to tell her how he thought she was, what am I? Wait.
Interrupted by screams.
Right.
Like, let's put a pin in this.
Wind.
I know.
She's the wind listener. She didn't hear it. Right?
Yeah.
She's the wisdom. She didn't hear the wind.
Yeah, well, it wasn't wind. It was just... It was actual screams. I mean, she didn't hear anything before the scream started either.
Yeah.
So you think
sorry, before we even get to that, so even before that, right, that it was like kind of the night before where they're at this fire and she's...
having fun.
What's that?
She's having fun.
She was having fun. She was smiling. She said, "You warders are not what I expect." So she was having fun with the warders, but then she still has this huge chip on her shoulders about the Aes Sedai. Right? Like, but you support them. you serve them. So I like that whole part too, where in the old tongue, Aes Sedai means to serve all.
Servants of all. Servants of all. Correct. Yeah, and she thought warders were pretty much lapdogs on 2 feet.
Yes, she did.
The old tongue phrase that she says, her incantation. I have the quote here. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, is it? It sounds like you want a gold crown.
Yeah.
Open wide.
We shall go into the land so our children can always hold us and will never be alone. This is the last thing that Nynaeve heard from her parents before they left her in a cellar.
Into the ground in a cellar.
To go mine Bitcoin, I think.
Right. By the way, it's like one of those. It's also like one of those translators, because what Nynaeve said was very long. It was like a whole paragraph, and then he's like, "They said thank you."
Yep.
Nynaeve is she only has a little dagger, but she gives some wet punches. She gives some little prison rib stabs. Pow, pow, pow. Gets a wet
prison
fist.
shank.
But the Aes Sedai are getting ruined. A couple of them get hurt. We see a healing occur, so we don't know how many died because they were actively healing each other on the field of battle. But we hear that there was only 6 Aes Sedai, right? Or 7. 7. And Leandrin says 7 Aes Sedai should be able to take on an army, no problem.
Is that 7 including them? So that makes 9? Or is that 7 with
7 Aes Sedai? So 7, and I think that includes Moiraine.
That includes Moiraine, because the White Cloak earlier had said there were 7 Aes Sedai to capture that guy Logain. Are you one of them? And one of them, I think, was the yellow that he killed. Perhaps. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Well,
okay.
At the end of the episode, I was able to count, and there are 7 Aes Sedai who are linking up.
Okay.
And working over.
Okay, so they're all healed.
Well, no, because one of them died. Karina.
Exactly. Yeah, there are 7 standing. One is dead.
Logain blasts himself free. Boom. Logain talks to Moiraine before all the Aes Sedai. She's like, all right, you're free. We only have a minute to talk. What up? And why should I believe you? He says that he hears his ancestors that you mentioned earlier, G-Mama, talking to him. And she says, that's just madness. Your power ain't shit. It's a pinprick of a candle next to the entire raging sun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Kind of jumps in. The 2-axe warder sees his dead Aes Sedai, does a flying ninja double axe. Waka! But apparently...
killed everyone.
Well, because he punctured in and he's like, that's my escape route. Boom, blast. Everyone gets fucked up by axe shards. Boom, the axe explodes. Lan is bleeding from his jugular. Nynaeve is like, no! Boom! Big blast of light. Logain's like, holy cow, like a raging sun indeed. Leandrin's like, leak with me, sisters, and they still him. They all their threads become a straight point of light that goes right into his chest, bursts him metaphorically open, and all this just black sand goo, all this goo comes out of his chest.
And
he's
2
crying.
tears.
And tears, yes, yeah. As it's doing, it's like these two tears.
Yeah, just 2 tears pulled away from him. So beautiful.
Yeah, not down his face, but kind of like, that was pretty cool. But then it ends, and her hair is like not in the braid.
She's given stink eye.
It was like not in the braid, which the braid has been very significant.
What do we think of this? So Nynaeve, Logain says like a raging sun. He almost is like, oh yeah, I was shit. No.
Yeah, this ain't nothing. Yeah.
Is this
Right, 'cause
confirmation?
after Maureen had said, you're a pinprick of a candle, and he's like, I see what you mean.
I think she was just stalling because she was watching the others start to wake up, and I think she was just stalling with the guy until they could all three get up.
Well, Logain was flabbergasted.
Oh yeah.
Does this? So, what is Nynaeve? Is Nynaeve the dragon?
Right, maybe, right? So we were talking about like the power that Egwene has that they mentioned that we haven't seen yet. Tom's talking about this power that Matt has that we haven't seen yet. This is what we've seen, and yeah, she frickin' healed and destroyed. Like she did all sorts of stuff, right? She healed
everyone
without even trying. I mean, I don't know if that's what she was trying to do, or if she just, right? She doesn't know what she's doing, and she was able to do that.
She did not want to lose land.
Moiraine was left with a scar. I don't remember seeing a scar on Lan's neck.
No.
Well, Maureen had a Trolloc attack, so that might be because of the Trolloc poisoning. I thought about that. Why was there a scar? And I think it was the Trolloc poison.
I don't know. I don't know that we saw Lan's neck well enough either to know if there was a scar there or not. Like, it was a very evident shot of Maureen's wound that we saw the scar. They didn't like do a zoom in and be like, all right, here's what's left.
The wound looked like Carvalon. Last thing I want to mention is the doll. The little girl gave Matt a doll. And
Brigitte.
that doll, Brigitte, I think, Brigitte, something. And that doll just wants to go see the world. And as Matt and Rand are riding off, the doll falls onto the ground and does not leave the farm. What is this doll representing for you, Cassie?
Well, actually, she got to go outside and see the whole world from the ground up. And she basically wound up the same way her friend did.
Yeah.
She died by her
dashed dreams.
Yeah.
That doll held more poignancy for me than I thought it did. It was there to protect her. She gave the doll away.
Right.
She died that day.
It was very sweet that she did, but I think he has that because he's a brother, an older brother. He has that ability to like a older brother figure to her, and
he was in his element. Yeah,
he was. I mean, he was very much connected with her really, really quickly. He had just thrown up, right? He was clearly not feeling well. He was trying to battle this whatever evil going on inside him, but he immediately was able to kind of turn on like his big brotherness, right, to this young girl
and connect right with her. Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like you said, because she did mention that she's got a bunch of dolls, but this is the one that she like has when she wants to be protected at night or when she has bad dreams or something like that. So I didn't quite make that full connection of as soon as she gave away her protector, she was no longer protected.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't think about that. I just thought about the fact that that he bonded with her and then she passed. That's all.
And then it was just gone.
I didn't think about the doll and being the protector and everything like that. That was really significant.
There's like a whole deleted scene thing where like the Fae just kept trying to get in the house, but then that girl had the doll and he'd be like, "Oh, the busted doll!
Nah, man.
Maybe I'll try again tomorrow." And tonight it worked.
So let's wrap this up by, as we tend to do now. We'll start with you, Lady Catherine. We're going to talk about
Scores.
We're going to talk about Scores, that strip bar in New York City. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
What?
Well, it's $50 there, damn it. Next time I'm not doing amateur night.
Grace,
you paid? You're like, sorry, so sorry, here's some money, sorry, so sorry.
Sorry you had to do that. Sorry you had to do that.
This is for your therapy.
My apologies. Who were your favorite characters, and then what was your favorite scene? We'll start first with you, Catherine. Your favorite character of this. We met a lot of new characters. We met some new warders. We met some Aes Sedai. We met Logain. We already met the Tinkers, I guess. But we met the farmer.
I liked Lan.
Lan was your
I liked
favorite?
Lan in this one.
Mm-hmm.
He was, by interpreting the Dothraki, he was showing his knowledge. He was kicking ass and taking names, and he shows his loyalty, and I liked all those characters about him.
He did punch somebody in the face who was trying to take Nynaeve. He's just
And he made sure that he got her.
in the
He
face.
did not forget her. Anytime they were running, he was like, gotcha.
Where's my girl? And those arrows were coming, and he stepped in front of her.
Yes, I saw that. That was really, gentlemanly, heroic.
Okay. Lan.
I think each one of them needs like a theme song, like I need a hero and, this and that. From Bonnie Tyler, like each one of them should have their own like little theme song. So when they go on the show, never mind.
Like WWF like intro music.
Yeah, their intro music when they go across, like all of a sudden, Bonnie Tyler, I need a hero, and he jumps out.
He's got to be strong. He's got to be fast.
He's got to be willing to fight.
Willing to fight.
Fresh from the fight. Oh, and he has to ride a white horse.
See, these are all warder qualifications, Cassie. You got it.
We can do all those things.
Yeah.
Gia-Mama, who was your favorite character of this episode?
Nynaeve. And not just because she freaking decimated and healed and did everything all at the very end, which was fantastic. But throughout, right, her disdain for the Aes Sedai was changing, and for the warders and all of that was just changing throughout. She was really learning a lot about herself and about the Aes Sedai and who they are and what they are, and all of these predispositions she had were getting shattered throughout the whole episode. Like everything she expected was being changed. I mean, her being really, around that fire, like, yeah, but you support them. They shut her down. They all shut her down really, really quickly. When the battle started, I saw her looking very admirably at the battle Aes Sedai, the green ones that were just doing everything. You could see her like seeing differently, and then her whole kind of thing at the end, and I just loved. Loved her look at the very end. Right, the very first time we saw her after the Trolloc and she flipped that braid. This time it was that look and the significance of her without a braid, because no Aes Sedai has a braid, and all the Aes Sedais have made comment on her braid as well. So anyway, clearly a lot going on with her in this episode. So she
also read that the red one was a snake.
Mm-hmm.
She's a snake.
Doesn't trust
She knew.
her.
She had these great scenes where just long cuts of her close up responding to things. Like one time it was her responding to learning what that poem or the old tongue prayer she'd known forever. And she finally learns it and she finally understands the significance that her parents knew they were going to go die, and that they knew that, and they gave her that incantation. She processes that and then slowly moves into like a shifting towards land, like, wow, look at this guy. And then she has that, and then she smiles and says, you're not who I thought you were. It was like an acting feat. That whole, I watched it over and over again. She's so great. She's just great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was fantastic in this episode.
Ryan, what was your favorite character?
Alana the Green, the battle.
Oh, she was badass too.
Yeah, and we failed to mention, but Alana the Green brought up Jenny the dog.
Jenny. So who do you think? Jenny's someone's daughter, right? Like the writer's daughter.
Yeah, that was a really, really dumb dog name.
Jenny.
Well, it wasn't her
That's
dog.
my favorite Penny.
That's the greatest name in the
Jennifer.
whole wide world.
Oh.
I named all my boats Jenny.
Yeah, that was a dumb dog name.
All right.
Oh my God! So I loved that.
My favorite character.
I really.
You like
I
the
want a
name Jenny for a
flashback of
dog?
Maureen and Jenny.
My favorite
Your favorite
characters
character?
were Alana's warders. I loved seeing two warders snuggling by a campfire. I thought it was awesome. These
I
guys
did
are
too.
badasses. She's like, time for bed. And he's like, yeah, we're tired. Wink, wink. He's like, yeah, we're tired. Sorry. And they all go to fuck. I mean, I think it was great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Danny.
My love.
You just wanted to get the threesome somewhere in there, didn't you?
Hey, it's been hinted at already.
I know.
Dana's like, hey,
Let's
was
wait for
down for
Matt.
threesome. Yeah. And Rand's like, we'll take turns. And Matt's like, you think she's up for it?
Give her enough beer.
Yikes.
Now, we didn't score last week's. I thought about it
okay.
afterwards.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what? Well, let's talk favorite scene first, and then score. Yeah, and G Mama, you go first this time.
Okay, good, because I was going to say I have a favorite scene I want to talk about.
Thank you.
My favorite scene was the arrows. So all the arrows that were coming in, and Alana, who you just said, stopped them and then reversed them and killed the whole front line of the army. That was just that was fantastic. I like
She
it.
got a lot of them.
She did get a lot of them.
Most. Yeah.
She had like 20. It was great.
Yeah, just the stopping all of them, and Nynaeve watching that and kind of seeing, and she's like, all right, I get it. I get what these guys do a little bit more than I did before.
And it's a tiny callback to what Logain was doing to the King of Galdon with his own dagger. When he tries to plunge it into Logain's throat, Logain stops it and turns the blade back
Turns
towards
it off.
himself before he drops the dagger.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyways.
that was my favorite scene.
Catherine?
I think God, there were so many, but I'm gonna pick when Rand was honest with the farmer. It shows his integrity, and it shows what type of person he is, and how, when push comes to shove, he does what's right.
Yeah,
And he read the room really well. He's like, whoa. These lies
Yeah,
are
he knows
not
his
working.
archery.
yeah.
I do like the fact that I learned the way the.
I was gonna say we can all say that our most favorite scene is that we learned about the way of the leaf.
Well, thank you. I wanted to say that, but that was, I want to be so on the nose.
Your arm wouldn't
Yeah,
reach
no,
your
it's,
back, Kim Pat.
Yeah,
No, I wept openly watching.
It was
that scene happen.
weird. It was weird, Ryan, seeing and hearing that phrase
Yep.
capitalized on TV. The way of the leaf is this. It was talking about our show, although it wasn't. It was still. I've associated that phrase with us for so long that when she says she follows the way of the leaf, I was like, please like and subscribe.
he did
Yes.
say that out loud. He's
That is a great. Hey, well, let's end the episode on that, Dan.
All right. Yeah, ladies, thank you for joining us as always. This is so much fun. These episodes are great. They're blowing my mind, and your insights are adding so much to my experience. So thank you. All right.
I can't wait for next episode. Like, really.
Any predictions? Oh no, we don't need that.
Well, scores. We haven't done scores. Do we care about that?
Oh yeah, do scores. Out of 10. 1 out of 10.
All right.
What do you give this
5,
episode?
4, 3, 2, 1. All right. press that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well. We are live streaming regularly and we are diving deep into the Amazon Wheel of Time, and we'd love for you to join us. You can support us on Patreon, join us on Twitter, Discord, and other social medias, Instagram. Everyone, I'm not good at this. Run for your lives, because this is the way of the leaf.
Yeah.